Okay, let's talk about May 7th, 2025. Operation Sindoor. That was the Indian Air Force taking action.
Yeah, and it was a direct response, wasn't it, to what happened just, 15 days before?
Oh,
April 22nd.
exactly. Pahalgam, that beautiful place by Zoran Meadow. They call it mini Switzerland.
And it just turned into this scene of absolute horror. 26 tourists killed and their local guide, Nazakat Ali. Just awful.
We saw the immediate fallout, the military movements, the strikes. It was a very visible conflict starting up again between India and Pakistan.
But that's only half the story, maybe even less than half now. What was happening online in the background that was maybe even more intense, a completely different kind of battle.
Right, an invisible war, almost.
Mm.
A battle for the narrative, and that's what we really want to dive into today.
It's fascinating, kind of terrifying how quickly the shock and the grief just transformed online into this massive fight over competing
It's
stories.
not just about the bombs and the bullets anymore, is it? You have to look at the social media landscape, the memes, the fake news. It's central.
Absolutely central. Maybe even the main arena now where this conflict is playing out, where they're fighting for influence.
So yeah, we're not just looking at the physical side of things. We're going deep into this world of disinformation. It's chaotic. Sometimes it feels almost absurd, but it's so critical.
The way the internet, which was supposed to connect everyone, has been, well, weaponized. It twists how people see things, buries the truth. It's something we're still figuring out.
Okay, so let's trace it back. That terrible day in Pahalgam. How did that spark this digital firestorm?
Well, the attack itself, targeting tourists in a peaceful spot like Baisaran Meadow,
Hmm.
it was designed for maximum impact, maximum shock.
And India's reaction was pretty immediate, wasn't it? Blaming Pakistan-based groups.
Right away, Jaish-e-Mohammed, or JEM, was named specifically. And then there was that interesting, though still a bit unclear, report about Masood Azhar, the JEM leader.
The reports that he admitted taking losses after India hit back.
Exactly. It adds another layer, though Pakistan officially denied everything, of course.
And Prime Minister Modi's response was very forceful. Vows of retribution, tracking down the perpetrators. It felt familiar, didn't it?
Very familiar. Echoes of Pulwama in 2019, definitely. That same pattern.
But then you had Pakistan, Prime Minister Sharif, coming out straight away saying, nope, not us, no evidence.
That immediate flat denial, it's this constant clash, the accusation, the denial that creates the perfect storm for disinformation to just explode.
Yeah, that Pulwama parallel is so striking. Attack, strong Indian reaction, Pakistani denial, and then boom, the online narratives just go wild.
And Operation Sindoor, India's airstrikes on May 7th, fits right in. The language from India, strokes of justice, things like that, was clearly for the home audience, projecting strength.
Well, Pakistan was pushing back hard, claiming they shot down dozens of Indian drones, painting India as the aggressor.
Both sides were playing directly to their own people, whipping up that patriotic feeling. It's textbook stuff in a way.
And it's in that supercharged environment full of anger and these totally conflicting stories that the disinformation playbook just gets rolled out.
Oh, yeah. And the speed is just incredible now. Platforms like X, WhatsApp, even TikTok, information and misinformation just spreads like wildfire.
They become echo chambers so fast, amplifying what people already believe and letting complete fiction just race around the world.
And some of the disinformation was, well, audacious is one word for it. Right after Pahalgam, you saw these totally opposite narratives on X.
Like Pakistan planned it all to destabilize India.
Yeah, or the flip side, India staged it as a false flag to invade Paki. Just completely baseless, but people pick the story that fits their view.
And the fake visuals are so powerful. That video claiming to show militants training for the Pahalgam attack.
Turned out it was from 2018 in Balochistan. Completely unrelated, just grabbed and repurposed.
Or that blurry photo of supposedly downed Indian jets over Lahore looked like something out of a movie.
A Bollywood war movie, apparently. It's almost laughable, but the impact isn't funny at all.
Because it's not accidental, is it? There's a strategy here.
Absolutely. It's about shaping how people see things, stirring up anger, and just destroying trust in any reliable source of information.
We saw accounts linked to the governments, influencers all pushing their side story, cherry-picking facts, twisting context.
And hitting all those emotional buttons. National pride, fear, old grudges. It works.
And that Oxford study from 2023, 70% of users in India and Pakistan seeing fake news every week. That's staggering.
It really is. And then you've got WhatsApp, which is harder to track. That fake message about Pakistan's army chief wanting to wipe out India by 2026.
Totally made up, but imagine getting that. It breeds real fear.
And it goes both ways. Remember that meme from Pakistan showing Indian soldiers running away?
Yeah, which is actually from some training exercise years ago.
Exactly. Aimed squarely at demoralizing Indians and boosting morale in Pakistan. It's psychological warfare using pixels and memes.
Okay, so let's unpack why it works so well. Why are we, so susceptible to this stuff?
Well, a big part is psychological. Confirmation bias. We tend to grab onto information that confirms what we already believe or what we want to believe.
Especially when emotions are high, like during a crisis.
Precisely. When India-Pakistan tensions flare up, people on both sides are already primed to believe the worst about the other. Disinformation just slots right into that. It feels true, even if it isn't.
And it's so cheap and easy to spread compared to, say, moving troops.
Oh, absolutely. A fake tweet costs nothing, reaches millions instantly. An airstrike is significantly more expensive and complex. Plus, let's be honest, many people just don't fact check. They see it, they share it.
And then you have the accusations about who's behind the organized campaigns. The BJP in India, the ISPR in Pakistan.
Yeah, the allegations are that both sides have sophisticated operations using social media, bots, troll farms to push their narratives and drown out other voices.
Which makes it so hard to tell what's real and what's manufactured outrage.
And the platforms themselves struggle. The sheer volume of content is overwhelming. Their algorithms often reward sensationalism, not accuracy, because it gets more engagement.
More clicks, more shares, even if it's completely false.
Right. And moderation is tough, resources are limited, and sometimes there's political pressure not to take down certain types of content.
So this isn't just online noise. What are the real-world impacts? The consequences on the ground?
They're serious. First, there's the erosion of trust. Trust in the media, trust in the government. When you're bombarded with conflicting stories, who do you believe?
We saw opposition parties in both countries accusing their governments of lying, manipulating things. The public gets cynical.
And that cynicism is damaging long term. But even more immediately, it can fuel actual violence.
Like the attacks on Kashmiri students after Pulwama, driven by fake videos.
Exactly. Horrifying. And after Pahalgam, there were reports of rising communal tensions inside India because of stuff spread on WhatsApp. In Pakistan, you had angry anti-India protests, some turning violent, fueled by their own media narratives.
And it escalates things at the state level too, right? Pakistan claims they shot down drones.
Even with flimsy evidence, it puts pressure on India to react, to maybe escalate further. India makes triumphant claims about Operation Sindoor.
Which then puts pressure back on Pakistan to show they can hit back. It's a dangerous feedback loop.
A very dangerous loop. Online boasting can lead to real-world conflict very quickly.
And what about the rest of the world? How did they react?
Mostly with caution, maybe confusion. The U.S. urged peace, but didn't really point fingers strongly. China, through its state media, basically dismissed India's strikes as disinformation themselves.
So everyone's sort of interpreting it through their own strategic lens.
Pretty much. Even Pakistan's allies in the Gulf seemed mainly focused on just calming things down, not taking sides. It leaves a bit of a vacuum internationally.
To really get this, you have to look back a bit, don't you? The history between India and Pakistan.
Absolutely. It goes right back to partition in 1947. And Kashmir has always been the flashpoint, the core issue.
Multiple wars, countless smaller clashes. 1971 was a major one.
A huge turning point. But the methods of conflict have changed. Propaganda used to be radio, pamphlets.
Now it's deepfakes potentially, viral hashtags, coordinated online campaigns. Balakot in 2019 was a preview, maybe?
A definite preview of social media's power to amplify everything. This current crisis feels like another leap forward in that information arms race.
So who are the main actors in this digital battlefield?
Well, you've got the Indian government, led by Modi, pushing the narrative of Pakistan sponsoring terror, framing their actions as self-defense. That's amplified by supportive media and online networks.
And the Pakistani military, using the ISPR, their PR wing, which is very effective at crafting their own narrative, portraying strength, downplaying losses, highlighting Indian aggression.
Don't forget the social media warriors, armies of trolls, bots, passionate nationalists on both sides, just churning out content, memes, attacks. They're the foot soldiers.
And the international players, the US, China, their reactions matter, even if they seem muted. And ultimately, it's the public, right? Caught in the middle.
Exactly. Ordinary people in India and Pakistan trying to figure out what's true while being flooded with conflicting, emotionally charged information.
Let's look at a couple of really specific examples from this crisis. That claim about the downed Indian jets.
Ah, yes. Pakistan's military claimed they shot down Indian jets during Operation Sindoor. spread like wildfire, often with those grainy videos of burning planes.
But the videos were old.
Completely old, from the war in Syria, just recycled to create a false picture of success, a deliberate hoax.
And what about the Pahalgam conspiracy, the idea that India staged the attack?
Yeah, that popped up online too. The evidence was incredibly flimsy supposed inconsistencies in survivor stories, which you'd expect after trauma, and the timing of the U.S. vice president's visit.
Which had nothing to do with it, right? It was about defense cooperation.
Exactly. A totally baseless theory, but it gained some traction among those already suspicious of India.
And the Masood Azhar audio. That seemed controversial.
Hugely. India released audio claiming it was Azhar admitting gem losses from the strikes. Pakistan immediately cried, fake doctored audio.
But experts checked it.
Independent experts confirmed it was likely authentic. But by then, the narrative was already poisoned. A lot of people in Pakistan simply didn't believe it, convinced it was Indian propaganda. It shows how trust just evaporates.
So faced with all this, what can actually be done? It feels overwhelming. How do you even start to combat this level of disinformation?
It's incredibly tough, no doubt. But there are things. Strengthening independent fact-checking is vital, getting reliable debunking out there quickly.
But can fact-checkers keep up with the speed it spreads?
That's the challenge. Their reach is often limited compared to the viral spread of the fake stuff. Then there's platform accountability, putting more pressure on companies like X, Facebook, WhatsApp.
To change the algorithms, to prioritize accuracy over just clicks.
Ideally, yes, and be more transparent about moderation. But their business models often work against that. Long-term, media literacy is key.
Teaching people how to spot fakes, think critically about what they see online.
Exactly. But that takes time. It's a generational thing. Diplomatic pressure might help, pushing both governments for more transparency. Public awareness campaigns, too.
Showing people the common tricks used in disinformation.
Yeah, making them more savvy consumers of information. But look, there's no magic bullet. It needs action on all these fronts.
And you have to wonder, stepping back, how much of this is tied to internal problems in both countries?
That's a really important point. Both India and Pakistan face significant economic challenges, political divisions. Disinformation, focusing anger on the external enemy, can be a very useful distraction for leaders.
Rallying people against the other instead of dealing with problems at home.
It's a classic tactic, and that's what makes Christopher Clarey's warning so chilling, calling this the most dangerous period since 2002.
Because social media can escalate things so incredibly fast now.
Unprecedented speed. A fake story, a provocative meme, it can trigger reactions that spiral out of control, especially between two nuclear-armed states.
Is there any hope? Any positive signs?
Maybe some small ones. The public reaction in Pakistan seemed somewhat muted this time, perhaps due to economic worries or just general fatigue. That's interesting.
And in India.
Despite the strong nationalism, you still hear voices calling for restraint, for dialogue. They might be quieter, but they're there.
Right.
If those voices get stronger, maybe there's a way to step back.
So wrapping this up, the big takeaway really is that this isn't just a military fight anymore. This information war, this disinformation battle, it's a major front. And it's dangerous.
Incredibly dangerous. Disinformation isn't just noise. It actively shapes reality, fuels hatred, and genuinely increases the risk of real-world conflict.
It really should be a wake-up call for everyone. For leaders to choose peace over propaganda, and for all of us as citizens to demand facts, not just stuff that confirms our biases.
It puts a responsibility on us all, doesn't it, in this digital world?
Absolutely. So next time you see something explosive online about India or Pakistan, just pause. Ask yourself, where did it come from? Is it credible?
Support good journalism when you find it. And try to remember the human element behind the headlines.
Yeah. Foster connection, not division. Because maybe, just maybe, in a world drowning in lies, that simple act of being skeptical, of questioning, is the most powerful thing you can do. It's the first step towards finding the truth.